In Pit Lane, brought to you by Online Invent, and with thanks to our Platinum Star Patreon supporters. Of In Pit Lane, coming to you from the studios of RMI TV here in the heart of Grand Prix City, Melbourne. Well, what a big few weeks we've had in local historic motorsport. Of course, we took you last week down to Tasmania to the historic Baskerville. Fantastic. We had a huge response to that last weekend when we were out at Sandown for Historic Sandown Return of the Thunder. Coming up a little bit later on in the program, we're going to take you back to Sandown. We're going to catch up with a couple of sports sedans that weren't over in Tasmania. They didn't make the trip across Bass Strait. A couple of unique holders if you're a Holden fan. One of these holders, one of the most famous racing holders of all time. That's coming up in the program a little bit later on. We've also got live music once again. We've also got, sitting next to me in a slightly different position tonight, we've got Craig Doc Gladigo. Doc, welcome to the show.
Yeah, just hanging onto the desk with both hands like yourself tonight. We got that much stuff. We're all packed up tonight with so much historic stuff that we need to. Well, we don't have time for a desk. All our guests are all wonderful to us that watch our show anyway.
Yeah, so we'll bring you that a little bit later on, but right now let's head to the weekend in news around Australia and around the world. This is the In Pit Lane Motorsport News.
A big weekend at Mount Panorama as the TCR World Tour came to town. The world's best touring car drivers took on the challenge of Australia's most challenging racetrack, and judging by the end results, it was a challenge they met head on.
A dominant win for the Factory Lincoln Co team as French driver Yann Alessi comfortably won the final TCR World Tour race at Bathurst, moving him into joint leadership of the World's Tour driver standing as the teams head to Macau next weekend. Alessi took the lead by overtaking Race 2 winner Santiago Urrutia at Turn 1 and maintained a Cyan Racing 1-2-3 for the majority of the race. Urrutia later crashed into the barriers at Reed Park, forcing him to retire. Thed Bjork finished second, followed by Rob Huff in third as the internationals dominated the race. Tony D'Alberto in his new Honda was the first Australian home in fourth. The race ended under safety car due to multiple late race incidents, including Jordan Cox's car catching fire and Mikel Azcona's strange low-speed crash into the wall. Despite a strong performance from Bailey Sweeney, teammate Josh Buchan claimed the Australian driver's title. Sweeney was later disqualified post-race due to a turbo overboost. The disqualification drops him from second to third in the final TCR standings, elevating Tony D'Alberto to second place overall. In a nail-biting finale at Bathurst, James Moffat secured the Australian Trans Am Championship Series despite facing unexpected challenges. Moffat entered the last race with an 84-point lead and led the pack early in his Gary Rogers Motorsport Mustang. However, the race took a sudden turn when smoke began pouring out of Moffat's car after an early safety car period. The GRM crew worked swiftly to get Moffat back onto the track, avoiding a potential championship-ending DNF. Despite losing the race to Tom Heyman, Moffat managed to finish 14th under safety car conditions to take the title by 76 points. In other races on the mountain, Marcus Zukanovic took his XD Falcon to a win in the Touring Car Masters with a narrow victory over Ryan Hansford's A9X Torana. John Bowe in his final TCM hit out at Bathurst finished third. There was a clean sweep for Nash Morris in the Porsche Sprint Challenge, winning all three races. And Cam McLeod continued his great run of recent form with a clean sweep of the V8 Touring Car Series races. And BMW's dominated the GT4 and production car events, with Tim Leahy winning in GT4 and Ian Sherrin taking out the production cars.
There was a major shake-up in the Speed Series with a new broadcast deal with the 7 network bringing the series back to free-to-air television.
Yay! Yay!
The expired deal with Stan Sport, well, that was going to be on the cards, wasn't it? Has been widely criticised, with numbers of subscribers low outside of the rugby strongholds of New South Wales and Queensland. Motorsport Australia have returned as the major promoter of the Speed Series and indicated early that the television package was an area of high priority. Rounds of the Speed Series will be seen live on 7's streaming service, 7 Plus, with selected events also shown on 7 Mate. Well done.
Well, the Speed Series has revealed its 2024 calendar with few changes for next year. The series kicks off early at Sandown in February before heading across Bass Strait to Tasmania and Symmons Plains Raceway. It's then back across to that other island racetrack with a visit to Phillip Island in April. May will see a return to the Bend in South Australia before moving to warmer climes with a July visit to Queensland. The series then sees another ridiculously long 3-month drought before the New South Wales double at the circuit formerly known as Eastern Creek, with the final once again at Mount Panorama in November.
The end is nigh. The world as we know it is coming to an end. Yes, the United States domestic racing calendar is wrapped up for another year. But no need to be sad, lad. MotoGP has still 2 rounds left to go, and it's going to be a thriller. And it's there we kick off this week's In Pit Lane International Wrap.
Only 14 points separates Pecco Bagnaia and Jorge Martin as the fight for the 2023 MotoGP World Championship heads to the final 2 race weekends. At the Malaysian MotoGP at Sepang, Bagnaia defended against Martin in a crucial battle for 3rd place points. Enya Bastianini took the lead early and set a fast pace, leaving the rest of the field behind to take the win. Alex Marquez finished closely for a 2nd place finish. Australia's Jack Miller was 8th. The fight now moves on to the penultimate round in Qatar next weekend, with 74 points still on offer. Ryan Blaney secured his first NASCAR Cup Series championship with a 2nd place finish in the season finale at Phoenix Raceway. Ross Chastain won the race, marking his 2nd win of the year. Blaney's victory is Team Penske's 2nd consecutive Cup title and the first NASCAR championship win for Blaney. Chad Green powered to his first career NHRA Funny Car win on Sunday at Pomona Drag Strip, defeating Tim Wilkinson in the final round of the 58th annual NHRA Finals to close out his 2023 season in style. In Top Fuel, Doug Coletta powered to a fastest run of 3.67 seconds in the winner-take-all final round to take the win over Leah Pruitt. The championship win is Coletta's first. Aaron Stanfield closed out the regular season with his first win of the year, taking down Matt Hartford in the final round of Pro Stock. And Gage Herrera's dominant Pro Stock bike season ended with another victory as the new champion set the single-season wins record after earning his 11th victory of the season with a win over teammate Eddie Kravic in the final round, denying Kravic his 50th career win for a 4th straight race. And if you can't get enough motorsport news and chat, why not join us every Wednesday night for Full Course Yellow? From Formula 1 to supercars, MotoGP to drag racing and all the news on the local scene, we've got the inside scoops, the breaking news and all the insights. Join us live on the In Pit Lane YouTube channel and on Facebook Live. Ask your questions, make your comments. Buckle up, strap yourself in and hit the track with Full Course Yellow. The live motorsport chat show from the team at In Pit Lane. Wednesday nights at 8:30, live on the In Pit Lane YouTube channel and Facebook. Yes, now we're going to take a break here on Channel 31. When we come back, we'll be taking you to the Historic Sandown and coming up, music from Sam Hernandez. Don't go away, we'll be right back.
Get the phone ringing for your business with website development and SEO services from Online Invent. Visit onlineinvent.com.au.
Yes, and once again, we've got to say a huge thank you to our sponsor for all of 2023 Online Invent. You know, if you run a business or even, a race team, a car club or an event, then Online Invent will take your online presence to new heights. Online Invent just aren't about technology. They're deeply committed to the local community, supporting grassroots motorsport through their motorsportarchive.com channel on YouTube and, of course, us here at In Pit Lane. Online Invent will optimise your website, boost your search engine rankings and attract a larger and more targeted audience. Whether you need a stunning new website, powerful custom software or a comprehensive SEO strategy, Online Invent has got you covered. So if you want to find out more, visit onlineinvent.com.au or call 0393 230575 and turbocharge your online presence. And once again, we would like to say a huge thank you to Online Invent for their support of In Pit Lane, RMATV student television and community television here in Melbourne. And joining us tonight is for our music is a guest who was on with us recently in the band The Hopeful Few, but he's joining us tonight as a solo artist. He's if you want to find out all about where he's performing and also the music by both by Sam and the band, they're on Spotify as Woofin. Also they're on Instagram as Woofin Music, and of course you can check out The Hopeful Few on Facebook and all the other places. But right now he's going to play us out with, or play us through the break with his first song for the night for everybody watching on YouTube. This is Sam Hernandez and Grey Skies.
Grey skies bring me home. Life knows I'm better off alone. Embrace the raindrops as they dance across my face. Find inner peace in a place where there's no one left to give up on me now. A packed bag, a raincoat, another lump stuck in my throat. The brain does overtime just thinking about what ifs or what it's not. Is that dream I had? Who knew forever after so much work? And life didn't come with a warning that giving up is habit forming. I cannot rest if I'm still crawling away from the coming storm. I need a safe place to rest my head. I need a better day put in tomorrow's start. Stand up straight, shoulders back. Try to find the strength I lack. I haven't lost until I refuse to get back up. You made your point, in time I'll make mine too. Every day's a brand new baby step. And life didn't come with a warning that giving up is habit forming. I cannot rest if I'm still crawling away from the coming storm. I need a safe place to rest my head. I need a better day put in tomorrow's start. Life didn't come with a warning that giving up is habit forming.
Welcome back to In Pit Lane. Well, what a couple of weeks it's been for historic racing in Australia. Last week, if you watched the program, and I hope you did, we went down to Tasmania for the Baskerville Historics. An absolutely fantastic meeting. And incidentally, thank you for the response that we've had to that. We had so many people at Sandown on the weekend coming up and saying how much they enjoyed the show and just, you know, how impressed they were with that circuit and all the quality of cars down there. In fact, if you look over the shoulder right now, that's we've got a few extra highlights from the meeting in the background. But as I said, we were out at Sandown on the weekend, and not all the sports sedans made it across, unfortunately, to Baskerville. A couple of them stayed here in Melbourne, and they turned up at Sandown on the weekend, including two very, very famous Holdens. There's nothing quite so silent as a silent racetrack. On the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month, people around the world gather to remember the fallen and the end of World War I. The Great War. The war to end all wars. On Saturday, the Victorian Historic Racing Register commemorated Remembrance Day as part of the 2023 Sandown Historic Return of the Thunder. Numbers were down over recent years, a combination of a packed calendar and the current restrained economic conditions. However, there was still plenty to look at, lots of great racing, and thankfully relatively few serious incidents. As at Baskerville the week before, Historic Sports Sedans were one of the features. Several cars that failed to make the trip across Bass Strait for Historic Baskerville were on hand at Sandown, including two classic Holdens. This 48215 or FX is powered by a 6-litre Chevy engine. In its day, it raced extensively in South Australia with its driver builder Tony Ross. Tony only ever raced the car in Victoria once before at Calder Park, and despite many years of driving, this was his first ever visit to Sandown.
At first raced in 1975, had a 289 Windsor in it, then it had a 350 Chev in it. I bought it off a guy called Dave Ferrell and raced it in 1980. I then spent 5.5 years rebuilding it and then ran it in 1986 to 1993. Raced it at Malala, Adelaide International Raceway, and after 30 years it's been restored and I'm lucky enough to be driving it again.
Now, one of the things that is obvious when people have a look at the thing, and a unique feature, it's got the big wing on the back, but the end plates, they're not metal,
No.
they're Perspex. Tell us about that.
Yeah. When I was building the car, I saw people building rear wings and I wanted to do something better than a bit of wood hanging off the back of a sports sedan. And I knew some people at Mental Plastics who were the importers of polycarbonate sheeting, and we used some polycarb sheeting. It was commonly known as Lexan. It's bulletproof, it's strong as hell, and they're the side supports for my rear wing. Got parked in September 1993, lost interest for a whole lot of reasons, and yeah, the time was right to rebuild it. It's the same motor, same gearbox, same diff, same panels.
At the other end of the scale, one of Australia's most famous sports sedans of all time is the ex-Peter Brock Colin Bond Holden dealer team Repco Formula 5000 powered XU1 Torana. This is a replica of that car, a car that in its day certainly lived up to its name tag of the Beast.
It was commissioned, built by, as the Beast replica, to turn it into the Beast replica. Before that, it was a genuine Group U sports sedan, done a lot of racing, particularly in South Australia. Got 4 logbooks dating right back to 79 with all the racing and stuff that it's done. And then Peter Champion bought it. I don't know the year, it is in the logbook, but I haven't had a chance to look at that kind of thing, and turned it into the Beast replica, which he had in his museum in Yeppoon, Queensland, and then at Movie World. And then he sold it when he sold most of the Brock collection a few years ago.
So how faithful is it to the original as far as you know?
I don't know, there's been various things, but it's got the very rare Repco 5000 manifold and stuff like that on it, you know, like unobtainable items. So, yeah, it had, you know, I've had to change it, but I haven't modified the car, but you know, period correct seat, harnesses, all those kind of things. I obviously can't use that kind of stuff now. And yeah, there's people that are, look at the photos, the old black and whites, you know, the famous photo, Brocky with his long hair and all the panels off it, which has been on the internet for years. You know, if you take all that stuff away and take the panels off the car, it looks the same type of deal, you know, same gear stick, same all that kind of stuff. So,
I seem to remember the original was not exactly torsionally rigid.
Yes. I
tended to twist a little bit. I mean, what about this one?
Well, I'm still learning, so I certainly know Peter Brock or Colin Bond, so I'm just driving it around and learning the car. This is only my second meeting in it. First one at Malala was at the start of the season, missed the next couple due to trying to iron out some more issues with the car and learning it, because basically for the last 15 years or something, it's been a museum piece before I purchased it, and it's taken a lot to get it right again for racing, I guess, you know. So it's done a lot of sitting around, and it's taken a fair bit to get it to where it is now. Still more to go. Hopefully my wife doesn't watch this, but you know, we'll hopefully get it better and see how it goes. You know, a lot of people come up and talk to me about it. I had a gentleman at Malala say that he was a part of the building of it originally, and then a gentleman on the internet, when I posted up pictures, he was the one that actually was building it, like commissioned by Peter Champion in Queensland, and he gave me photos of it getting built in his workshop, you know. So it's I love the history. I'm a, you know, car buff, so I love the history of it.
Do you know what happened to the original?
Well, that did come up as a topic of conversation, and a gentleman that I've met over the years, Larry Kavanagh, sent me a photo of the original beast, 100%. You can see the flares, you can see the Moyas, you can see the lot, with the Candyman written across the top of it, and it all had the wire instead of the glass or the Lexan or whatever, and that was ended up on the speedway tracks of Australia. Now, whether it is positively gone, no one can definitively say, but it certainly hasn't been seen since its speedway career, which was based in Warrnambool apparently. So obviously someone out there may still have it, you know, and if that was the case, then that would be wonderful.
Unfortunately, the sports sedan races and several others on the card suffered due to red flags and full course yellows, due to the unforgiving nature of the Sandown circuit. But for the times that they were out on the track, these classic cars from a classic era of Australian motorsport certainly drew the attention of an appreciative crowd who enjoyed 3 days of great weather, great racing and wonderful memories. Yeah, thanks to Tony Warren and all the Historic Sports Sedan guys. Great meeting at Sandown. Now we'll be back with the end of the show. To take us out tonight, we've got our special guest, Sam Hernandez, will be joining us with some great music. Don't go away. You're watching In Pit Lane. We'll be right back. Welcome back to In Pit Lane. Well, we're coming towards the end of the program. We've only got 2 programs to go, but who's counting? Yes, but as far as next year goes, the good news is, look, everybody wants to come back. And Channel 31 have invited us back. RMI TV have invited us back. I hope that you will invite us back as well. What we need to make it happen, though, of course, is sponsorship. Now, if you're looking for sponsorship and you're looking to promote your company next year around right around Victoria and right across Melbourne and Geelong, remember that you can sponsor us here at In Pit Lane. We've been very fortunate this year to have the support of Online Invent and last year as well. But we are looking for sponsorship for season 2024. And without that sponsorship, unfortunately, the program will not go ahead despite of all the goodwill in the world. It does actually, believe it or not, cost us quite a lot of money to produce this program every week. I know it doesn't show, but trust me, it's true. So, yeah, as I said, if you are looking for sponsorship, this is the most affordable way of harnessing the power of the world's most effective marketing platform, and that is prime time free-to-air television. So if you would like to contact us here, remember you can do that at In Pit Lane, advertise at In Pit Lane, and or contact us here through Channel 31 or RMI TV, and we'll talk about the opportunities for you in 2024 here on In Pit Lane and Channel 31. Now, it's been a hectic couple of weeks,
we do like to nurture the young people, and also we like to be nurtured by the racetrack when we go out there. And with the old sunburnt country that we're in last weekend, Sandown, you've had basketball, you've had Sandown. There's just motorsport everywhere. It's a silly season, I suppose. Christmas come early for the motorsport fans.
It's always a very tight time this year, because still coming up, we've also got coming up this weekend at Rob Roy. There's more historic racing with the historic hill climb at Rob Roy. And
they've just fixed their Wi-Fi and telecommunication stuff there, because I was talking to Reece
I
Timms.
believe so. So we'll see about that in the weekend. We've had so much. I haven't had a day at home, a full day at home, 24 hours at home for nearly nearly 6 weeks now.
You're going to pick a day in the next 2 weeks, because in 2 weeks' time we've got Calder. We've obviously got
Geelong Revival,
and Phillip Island as well, and there's always a sprinkling of local events to go as well.
We've also got coming up this weekend, there's the Friday night drags at Calder Park. Also coming up, roll racing coming back to Calder Park as well, and roll racing has become really, really popular. I'm going to be out there. We'll probably do a story on that, but I'll be out there
and look for something special too as well too.
We will see. Listen,
keep your ears on.
Yeah,
you might hear a familiar voice named Ramsey over the speakers out there doing a little bit.
Gordon is coming out, and so the air will be blue.
I was going to say, you're swearing from the mountains, exactly.
There will
but
be.
Now look, going back, obviously we can talk retrospectively. What a great weekend we just had at Sandown. I mean, we were a little bit concerned about some numbers on the Friday, but they swelled up to big time on the Sunday. It was really good. Huge crowd, great weather. You saw some of your favourite cars. It's always good to see some of them come out of the woodwork as well, though. Too.
It was really funny.
What was your favourite on the weekend?
Well, it was really funny because at one stage we were sitting in the grandstand during a break. We were sitting in the grandstand when the Formula 5000s came out, and when Brian Sala went past in the Matice 50, in the orange thing. My very, very first meeting, that car was there, and I was suddenly 10 years old again. So I was a fat, old, and in pain 10-year-old, but I was 10 years old again. So anyway, it was a great weekend. Hey, listen, we've got to take off now because we are really, really right out of time.
Yep.
And a few weeks ago on the program, it was early in the season, we had the band in The Hopeful Few. Well, tonight we have The Hopeful One. Here's Sam Hernandez, and he's joining us to perform solo for us tonight. So to take us out here on In Pit Lane, this is Sam Hernandez and Traveller. Until we see you next week with a 9-piece band, good night.
I've packed my bags and I'm on my way. In the mirror, my whole world fades away. And I say goodbye to all my friends, and I don't know what the future holds for me. But I'll do enough to know what sticks. I'll carve out my own path, and if I come home, I won't be the same. But you can hear me sing from the tops of the rooftops on those sunny streets, where the winter winds can't carry quite the chill. I might be back, but the wings are still ready to go. And I guess that the world's gonna see just how I go. I'm all dressed up in a suit and tie. The view goes on further than I can see. And I get these chills running down my spine when I see just what the future has in mind. But I'll do enough to know what sticks. I'll carve out my own path, and if I come home, I won't be the same. But you can hear me sing from the tops of the rooftops on these Melbourne streets, where the winter winds can howl so loudly. Still I spread my wings and I left the nest a while ago. And I guess that the world's gonna see just how I go. Yeah, yeah. Sticks. I'll carve out my own path, and if I come home, I won't be the same. But you can hear me sing from the tops of the rooftops, where the wind takes me. Those cheap light spirits are going for the kill. I'll take the world and I'll be more than a shadow. And when I hit the front page, that is how you'll know. I've packed my bags and I'm on my way. In the mirror, my whole world fades away. And I I say goodbye to all my friends. I don't know what the future holds for me.